Welcome back, it's JWalter here and hope you're having an awesome day. In today's video, I want to take a deep dive into why people are not selling their houses right now. So the big issue we have right now that's causing home prices to remain elevated is the fact that housing inventory remains very low as well. So I'm going to take a deep dive into why that is, why people are not listing their houses for sale. So I hope you get a lot of value from today's video, but let's go ahead and dive right into this article according to Redfin. And they're saying that nearly 1/3 of homeowners have a mortgage rate far below today's level, prompting some to stay put. So as you guys all know, 1 year ago, or actually like 2020 or March 2020, all the way until the end of 2021, mortgage rates were around 3%. Now there are approximately 5.5%. And in my personal opinion, I think this is one reason why housing inventory is very low right now, because a lot of people are not listing their houses for sale because they have rates or current rates on their mortgages right now of less than 3%. So that's causing a lot of people to stay in their houses. So this is more or less the topic of today's video here, and also the synopsis of this article here as well. So they basically say that with rising mortgage rates, homeowners are staying put because if they were to move, they would lose their ultra low rate and getting stuck with a heftier housing bill. It says here that about half or 51% of US homeowners with mortgages have a mortgage rate under 4%. And that's causing some people to stay put in their houses here. With rates now at their highest level in over a decade. So right now mortgage rates are around 5.5%, and that's the highest levels in over a decade. So many of these homeowners may be incentivized to stay put in their houses rather than sell, and buying another house could mean giving up their ultra low mortgage rates and increasing their housing bill. And this may be one reason why we're seeing a decline in new listings. So here's the latest stats we have from Redfin as well. And this is for the 4 weeks ending April 17th. This black line right here is for 2022. I'm excluding 2020 because we had stay-home orders during this time last year, or in 2020. So I'm only looking at 2019, 2020, and 2022. So right now, the current level of new listings, we're actually down 8.2% compared to 1 year ago. As you can see here, the trajectory has been always less than, more or less than 2019 and 2021. But this trajectory has been going down. So it was going basically in line with 2021. Not 2019 though, and it has been declining though. So we'll have to see if this continues though, because if this continues to decrease, then housing inventory is going to get much worse. In other words, it's going to get much less. So we'll have to see if this trend continues. I'll definitely keep you posted. So because we're seeing a lack of new listings hitting the market, that's also causing a housing inventory to decrease as well. So you think of like a bathtub being the housing inventory, it gets filled up with new listings, and then the bathtub gets emptied when the home seller accepts an offer from home buyer. That's a pending home sale. So what we're seeing right now, we're not seeing enough new listings to hit the market, and that's why housing inventory, or one reason why housing inventory is almost at record low levels. As you can see here, we have approximately 500,000 houses available for sale. That's actually down 21% compared to 1 year ago. However, it's down about 50% when we look at the numbers from 2019 during this time of the year. In any case, going back to this report here, it says that this analysis is based on the FHFA's data from the fourth quarter of 2021. That's the most recent stats they have available. This report actually covers 80 million owner-occupied U.S. households, of which about 2/3 or 62% have an outstanding mortgage. So in other words, approximately 40% do not have a mortgage for their house across the United States on average. And here's a graphic depiction showing the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage ever since 2000. April 2000. So April 2000 rates were approximately 8%. They decreased until 2003. As you can see here, they've been on a steady decline. In 2018, we saw an increase of about 1% in mortgage rates from the beginning of 2018 to the end of 2018. And that caused a housing market slowdown a little bit in most markets across the United States. However, mortgage rates decreased greatly back in the beginning of 2019, and they dipped again big time in 2020. So we reached all-time record lows in January 7th, 2021, when the average was at 2.65%. So a lot of people refi their mortgages during this time right here, and they have rates of less than 3%. A lot of them have rates of less than 4%. And that's one reason why we're seeing a lot of people who are not selling their houses right now, because why would they sell their house when they have a 2.6% mortgage rate and current rates are around 5%? So that's causing a lot of headwinds for home buyers right now because there's a lack of housing inventory. And if you want to have home prices decrease, we need a big increase in housing inventory, in my personal opinion. In any case, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage hit 5% for the first time since 2011 during the week ending April 14th. Again, mortgage rates are around 5.5% now. That's actually up from the record low of 2.65% in January 2021. And mortgage rates were around that as well in August of 2021 as well. I believe they're around 2.77%. In any case, the typical home buyer's monthly mortgage payment reached an all-time record high. That's actually an increase of 35% from 1 year ago because mortgage rates have increased greatly, and of course, home prices have increased greatly as well. Redfin's deputy chief economist Taylor Marr had this to say: higher mortgage rates may already be putting a damper on home listings. He goes on to say here that basically we have a slowdown in home buying demand, and that causes some houses to stay in the market longer than anticipated, and that gives some buyers more options to choose from. And he says here that could actually mean housing inventory actually gets better and not worse, simply because we have less houses going into contract status, and therefore housing inventory increases as new listings hit the market. I'll definitely keep you posted regarding this, because if we couple that with a lack of people listing their houses for sale, then inventory may actually get worse and not better. So I'll definitely keep you posted regarding that though. In any case here, they say we're seeing some early signs that home buying demand is decreasing. One of those actually that they did not mention here is that new home sales have been decreasing. So they have decreased for 3 consecutive months. Those are new houses that have sold in the US have been decreasing. On top of that, existing home sales and pending home sales, according to the National Association of Realtors, have also been decreasing as well. So we're seeing a slowdown in sales volume, and that could be an indication that home buying demand is decreasing. It also says here that home sellers are cutting their asking prices in greater numbers as well compared to 1 year ago. Redfin is also seeing a drop in buyers requesting services from Redfin agents as well for buying services. In addition to that, we're seeing a decrease in mortgage applications. Check out my video from a couple of days ago that I posted on the channel. In addition to that, we're seeing home tour activity drop below last year's levels. So in other words, we're seeing a decrease in the number of home showings by real estate agents. And here's the latest stats we have from Showing Time. I share this chart with you guys on a frequent basis. This is actually just published as of yesterday. This orange line right here is actually 2022. The line above here is 2021. These are real estate agent showings in North America, and they have this compared to the first week of the year. So compared to the first week of the year in 2022, we have an increase of 23% in the number of home showings by real estate agents who show houses to their home buyers. Compare that to 2021 though, that was an increase of 45% compared to the first week of 2021. So a big increase of 45% in 2021 and only a 23% gain in 2022. Here's yet another factor about why homeowners may be opting to not sell their houses as well. So it says here, with rents on the rise, many homeowners are opting to rent out their properties instead of selling, another way for them to hold on to their low mortgage rates. I also personally seen that as well. I helped someone buy a house last year, and instead of selling their house, they actually opted to rent it out because rents are so high, and the rent that they could get was actually much more than their housing payment. Also, it says that Americans are also staying in their houses for longer in general. The typical US homeowner in 2021 had spent 13.2 years in their house, and that's actually up from 10.1 years in 2012. It also goes on to say the following in this report here, because they're saying that Utah and Colorado have the highest share of homeowners with mortgage rates significantly below today's level. So out of all the homeowners with mortgages in the US, the highest share was actually in Utah at 65%, which 65% of mortgage holders had a rate of below 4%. That was followed by South Dakota, Colorado, North Dakota, Washington, and Idaho at all roughly 60%. So a high share of homeowners there who have mortgages of less than 4%. In contrast, here are the states that had the lowest share of mortgages of less than 4%. That's West Virginia at the bottom of the list here at 39%. Next came New York, Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Oklahoma, all at around 44%. And it says here the rise in prices has helped homeowners build equity, but often not enough to afford the house that they want next. And the higher mortgage rates are now making the next home even more unaffordable. And they gave an example here. It says one homeowner who bought a Salt Lake City house for $235,000 in 2015 and was recently planning to sell, but chose not to sell because now their house is actually worth $650,000. So they basically opted to remodel their house instead because they want to keep their current mortgage rate of 2.4%. So, why would this person want to sell their house at 2.4% and to get a mortgage at 5.5%? And then, of course, the replacement home is going to be much more expensive than the $235,000 house they bought in 2015. So basically, moving would cost these people a lot more in their monthly housing payment. In contrast, though, one Redfin agent had this to say: many homeowners want to sell now because they're concerned that if rates keep on going up, that will hurt home buying demand and that will drop their price of their house. So some people may decide to sell their house in fears that their home price is going to be going down. So we'll have to see how housing inventory changes over the course of the next year here. So comment below with your biggest takeaways from today's video. Also, if you got any value out of today's video, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Also, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Hope you have an awesome day and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.